Gravediggers Union, written by me, drawn by the amazing Toby Cypress. Available on Amazon and at comic shops to order right now, books 1 and 2. And of course, Deadly Class. I'm the artist, Rick Remender is the writer. Books 1 to 12 available at comic shops, bookstores, etc. All right. I've got my tea here. Got a new page of Kaya I'm gonna ink. Yeah, I can speak a little bit louder than I have in previous videos that I've filmed because there's no one here at home. Last few times I've had some people here in the other room, and I didn't want to, didn't want to talk too loudly. So yeah, what am I talking about this time? What am I talking about? Main thing I want to talk about today is, I think some of these videos might be good as just kind of, I guess it's strange to use the word, but kind of educational videos. There's some things, I don't think, I've given advice at conventions and stuff like that, and I've given a few talks at my old school that I went to, my college that I graduated from years ago, and I don't have a ton of advice to give in a way. I don't find I'm very good at portfolio reviews because it's just like there's no right way to do it, like if this is how, it's one of those things I was like, I have to ask the question, do you want to work for DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse, like mainstream North American stuff? Do you want to work in indie stuff? Indie stuff especially, it's like, do whatever you think. And when I say indie, I guess I mean, there's no, I don't know, I haven't heard a really perfect term for it or whatever, but I've heard it called art comics or whatever, but what I'm talking about is the Jordan Quarterly Fantagraphics style comic books. In that case, it's kind of like, well, I'm not really the person to give you that advice, because in that world, in my opinion, you do whatever you feel is the most real to you, the most honest style, and maybe don't even think about style, or you can make it all about style. It's a bit more wide open because it's a bit more kind of pure, a bit more purely artistry in those for those publishers. That's my take on it. Whereas Marvel, DC, etc., there's a bit more of a standard, a certain level of like technical proficiency and stuff like that that's demanded in those worlds, and that's what I do. But at the same time, even having said that, it's a part of it is, who am I to tell you how to draw, but having said that, I'll tell you, I think the easiest way to get through that and still give hopefully a relatively okay portfolio review, if someone wants one, is just to maybe not talk about their experience, but just talk about your own experience and what has worked for you and your style, and what things you do to kind of improve on the work you're doing. So the main thing, one thing that I always tell people that are trying to come up and get work in the comic book field, for me, is I have a sketchbook. I always keep a sketchbook for years and years and years now. I'm busy enough that the sketchbook gets filled way, way, way more slowly than it did back in the day when I was just trying to get work, and when I was again, I went to a school called Dawson College here in Montreal. I went to illustration and design in that school. I also went to took a 1-year graphic design course at a different school in Montreal. But at those times when you're living at home possibly, and you don't have to worry that much about making rent and all that kind of stuff, like I was filling sketchbooks really fast. Now it's much slower because the work obviously comes first, the actual work. but in between issues, if I can get a chance, I go around, I go to a coffee shop, take the bus, wherever, go do something that's not working, but I'll bring my sketchbook with me, and I'll try to sketch some people around me, or, fill up with ideas, or whatever the case may be. And I find that's a great way to keep fresh and keep the ideas flowing. I think if you just work on paid work nonstop all the time, I find it can be a little bit stifling. And over time, I think it kind of, the ideas don't flow as freely. I think you need to experiment and not worry about failure. That's kind of the main thing. You can just try things in the sketchbook, and just, if it doesn't work, it's no big deal. There is no deadline. There is no publisher waiting at the end of the line. It's just you trying stuff out. I find that's really useful. So yeah, a sketchbook, very useful. Fill it up with as much stuff as you can, depending on, how much time you have in the day. One thing that I try to tell everybody is, it's a tough thing, because it's like you have to find time to build up your portfolio, to take it to conventions, to try to model it towards certain publishers that you want to work for, all this stuff. And at the same time, maybe you're living at home, maybe you're not paying rent, but it's a possibility that you're a bit older, you're out there in the world, you have a full-time job, you have whatever you have to do to pay the bills, and somehow you have to find time to do that, to work on your portfolio and try to find this, make this new career happen for you. Very difficult. So I would say that, you don't have to go to conventions anymore. Now that it's back in the day, it's like you kind of had to go to conventions before you could find these comic publishers online. That's how long I've been doing it, is that it's like I used to go to San Diego and get these portfolio lineups like when the internet was just kind of the nascent internet, that where publishers didn't have their websites, and social media was a faraway, I wouldn't say dream, but a faraway nightmare, or whatever it's becoming. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling here a little bit as I do, but the most important thing is it's hard to find that time in your week, in your work week, to say, okay, I'm going to work on comics. And I feel that a lot whenever I talk to people. It's always like, I don't know if you have the time to do this, but I would say if you want to give it a try, I've heard this with writing, I've heard this with drawing, I've heard this with, music, whatever the case may be, any artistic endeavor that maybe the people around you don't they might not see the value in it. They might say, what are you doing? Like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. But if it's something you believe in, and it's something that you think you can give a go to, something that you think that you're proficient at, and that you have the will, not the will, just the whatever, the determination to like really get better at it, and just keep trying to improve until people have to see that you're good at what you're doing. I would say whatever time you can give yourself, whether it be an hour a week or 2 hours a week, or get as many hours as you can realistically, but while still living your life and still being able to do whatever you need to do to pay the rent. Whatever that time that you give yourself, just protect that, protect it from everybody around you, really. You kind of have to be a little bit selfish to a certain degree, and say, this is my time, and this is the time that I take once a week to get better at this thing that I want to do. And you're not, no one's allowed to interrupt me. Turn off your cell phone. Don't look at your emails. Don't look at anything else. Just let your loved ones around you know that this is an important time to be left alone, that you need it. If you ever want to make this kind of thing, this possibly, this dream that you have, if you want it to come true, then you got to take that time seriously. So yeah, it sounds a little crazy, I guess, when I'm saying it out loud like that, but I think that is what it takes, because the world is, especially today, it's so easy to be distracted by a million different things. It's a very distracting world. You know, everything is vying for your attention. And so you have to be kind of vigilant. You have to be vigilant and just say, okay, well, it doesn't matter what is going on. I need to focus in just for this small amount of time, you know, and get something done, hopefully improve on my skills. And yeah, that's important. I have another thing. Actually, this video started with something else I was going to say about improving on your skills, but maybe that's a separate thing that I'll save for the next video. I'll probably just turn this off, make this its own thing, and then put the camera on again for a new video and talk about that. Okay, that's it. Bye. Thunderhead, Superheroes on Acid. That's all you really need to know about it. It's me and Kevin Castanero making some comic book magic, and it is on Kickstarter starting in at the end of July and going all the way through August. So we've got just amazing art, some amazing covers from my buds at Lethal Comic Books, Carl Kerschel, Andy Belanger. I'm doing a cover, Kevin's doing a cover. I am doing flashback. I'm writing the series and doing some flashback stuff. Kevin is doing the bulk of the amazing artwork that you got to check out. With every issue, like with every issue, there will be, what do we got? We got a free sketchbook, we got a free poster, free stickers, along with the actual oversized comic book that you'll get. So yeah, on Kickstarter, check it out. Thanks for listening.